In this video, we got another episode of this series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter at x7tanaka, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your squad and a rating out of 10. Whatever I do think about your squad, a 6, a 7, 8, a 9, or a 10. If you guys also want to let me know your team in the YouTube comment section down below, I'll give you guys my best suggestion, to help improve your squad. But make sure, if you guys are going to comment your team down below on the YouTube video, make sure to let me know how much MT you guys have so I can give you guys my best suggestions. But talking about the first squad here of the video, coming in from Vitapocket, he's got a very good overall squad. I mean, he's got 1.2 million MT as well, so he's got a lot of MT to work with. I would say this squad, before making any suggestions, is probably like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I'd say probably closer to like a 9.3, 9.5, because you got that really good front court of Dikembe and Yao Ming. What I would do personally is move Dikembe and Mutombo to the backup 5. So your two centers are going to be Yao and Dikembe, who I personally think are the two best centers in the game. Other than that, I think your backcourt is fine. I like Pete Maravich and Scottie Pippen. I like those two guys as a backcourt, and then I like Scottie Barnes and Ricky Davis. For your two small forward positions, I like Mike Bantam, but I would look to get a different small forward, whether it's a Jonathan Bender, even if it's a Poku, a Jonathan Isaac, even if it's a card like a Bill Russell. I would just recommend getting a better backup 3, and then maybe you could even start them over Mike Bantam, and then bring Mike Bantam off the bench. And then for your two power forwards, I would probably put KG on the bench and then go ahead and get like a Taco Fall, a Dark Matter D-Rob if you wanted to spend a lot of MT, or you could even start KG and then just bring like a Dino type of card off the bench, or just a different power forward like a Yi. So you can also keep your two power forwards and then just move Dikembe to the backup 5, and then just get, like I said, a different small forward. You can maybe even get a different point guard off the bench if you wanted to, but I think Pete Maravich is good enough. So overall, those would be my suggestions for your team. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from 103, I guess is what his name is, 106,000 MT to work with. He thought of selling his entire team before the super packs, but he's honestly not sure. So a decent squad. I mean, it's definitely not on the level of the team we just looked at, but I would say a solid like 8 to 8.5 8 to 8.5 out of 10 team. It's a good squad. 100,000 MT, you can't do a crazy amount. I like your point guards. I would get a better backup shooting guard position, whether you want to get a Ricky Davis, whether you want to get a Vince Carter. I think both those guys are really good options to get over Tyler Hero, because other than that, I don't see any suggestions to make for your squad except for getting a better backup too, whether it's a Ricky Davis, who I would personally go with, or get a Vince Carter. I think both those guys should be playing over a Tyler Hero type of card, and then the rest of your squad is perfectly fine. If you did want to wait till the super packs come out, or you wanted to sell your team and then buy the cards back when the new season drops, you could definitely do so. But I'm just saying, for your current squad, I would get either Ricky Davis or Vince Carter to play the backup too. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from Aiden, he's got 80,000 MT and wants my opinion on Ray Allen. Glenn and Mathurin situation, just don't know who to use as my two. Love all three of them, and also who can I save up for. So he's got Benedict Mathurin as well. He's got Ray Allen and Glenn Rice, so that is a tricky situation for your three shooting guards. I personally would play Glenn Rice and Ray Allen. I think Ray is better than Benedict. Glenn Rice, in my opinion, is definitely better than Benedict Mathurin, but honestly, I think that's a close debate. I would personally go with Ray Allen, but if you want to go Benedict, I think that's a perfectly fine shooting guard to play at the backup too. And then I would just get rid of the other one. With 80,000 MT, I would get Luke Walton for your backup point guard spot. I do think he's a lot better than a card like Shea. I think your backup center should honestly be starting. I would start Diop and then sell Embiid and look to get an Evan Mobley, or look to get a Dino. Your power forward situation, I think, is solid as well. I mean, I like Charlie. I would just get a better backup 4, whether it's a Dino, whether it's a Jokic, whether it's a, or you can't afford Jokic, sorry. Maybe, try to think of some cheaper power forwards. Even Poku could play at the 4. Who else? There's Poku's really good at the 4. I'm kind of drawing a blank on good budget power forwards, but Poku's not a bad option. You could even play him at the 3. So I would get cards like Luke Walton, Poku. I think both those cards could play, and then maybe look for like a Dino, a Mobley for the backup center, or you can maybe start them over Joel Embiid as well. Looking at the next team here, coming in from I think it's Burger or Koala Pax, I think it's to pronounce his name, honestly no idea, but he's got 800,000 MT and Ben is badged out. So you got a really decent squad, I would say. I'm not sure if I like your front court between Pau Gasol and Walker Kessler. Overall, for the rating out of 10, I'd probably give this a solid 8 to 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a decent team. I like your backcourt on the bench and the starting lineup. I think for me, I would just focus on the front court. I would get Taco Fall personally to play at the power forward position, and then get like an Evan Mobley or a Dino to play the starting 5. So for me personally, I would get Taco at the 4 and then get Dino at the starting 5. And I think your front court's good on the starting lineup and the bench as well. And then your team is pretty much good. If you want to leave it like that, you can definitely do so. If you want to get Luke Walton to play over Josh Giddey, I'd personally do that. If you want to get maybe a Jonathan Bender, you maybe want to get a Jonathan Isaac, you maybe want to get a Ricky Davis, all of those guys could maybe play off your bench or even over Glenn Rice and Poku as well. So those are the cards that I get for your squad, but mainly just focus on getting a better front court with cards like Dino, cards like Taco, you know, even Evan Mobley can play as well. So I would just focus on improving Pau Gasol and Walker Kessler. Looking at the next one here coming in from King, he's got 200,000 MT. He doesn't know if he should sell my whole squad, so I have more MT for the next season. So looking at your squad rating out of 10, I would probably give this team a 9, maybe a 9.5. I'm thinking more of like a 9 to 9.5, somewhere in that range. I think it's a pretty good all-around squad, so I would say 9.5 out of 10. For me personally, if you have 200,000 MT, I'm not sure if you can sell Scotty Barnes. I'm not sure if you can sell Chet, but I would sell both those guys. I would get Dino over Chet personally, and then I would get Ricky Davis over Scottie Pippen. And then for the backup 3, I would either get Poku, Jonathan Isaac, Jonathan Bender. I think all of those cards are a lot better than Rudy Gay. And once you do that, I think you'll have pretty much a perfect 10-man rotation. If you get Dino for the backup 4, you get Ricky Davis for the backup 2. That's going to cost you about maybe like 150,000 MT, probably actually a little bit less, like 130, 120,000 MT for those 2 cards. And then you got 80,000 MT to get a small forward, whether it's a Jonathan Bender, a Poku, Jonathan Isaac. A lot of those cards I do think are better than Rudy Gay at the backup 3, but all around, I do think you got a pretty good squad. Looking at the next team here coming in from Levy, he's got 2.5 million MT. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to spend all of that, because if you have 2.5 million MT in this team, you probably don't want to spend a ton of it. Now, I'm not saying your team's bad. I'm just saying with 2.5, you can make a lot of suggestions and a lot of upgrades. I would say rating out of 10, probably like an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10. For me personally, unless you just really like your 2 point guards, I think both of them could get replaced by Scotty Barnes and Luke Walton. That's personally what I would do. What I would also do off the bench is either if you can sell Scottie Pippen, sell him. If you can't, I would personally get Ricky Davis to play alongside Scotty Barnes or Luke Walton, however you want to put them at the 1 and the 2. So get Ricky Davis with backup 2, or you could start him over Billy Knight. Actually, yeah, that's what I would do. Start him over Billy Knight and have the duo off the bench. So your starting point guard could be Scotty Barnes, your starting 2 can be Ricky Davis, and then off the bench you got Luke Walton, Mike Bantam, and Billy Knight for your 1, 2, and 3. And then for your power forward spot, I would sell Jokic if you can. If you could sell Kareem as well, I would also sell him. I'm not sure if you locked in for Tim Thomas, but put Yi to the back of 4, have KG and Yi be your 2 power forwards. And then for the center spot, if you want to go out big and get yourself a Yao Ming and get yourself a Kristaps, get yourself a, D-Rob, you can definitely do so. But if you want to go for more cheap, I would probably look to get Taco Fall to play your power forward position and then have KG at the 5. I think Taco is like the most game-changing card that's over 400,000 MT. So I get Taco Fall for your starting power forward, play KG at the starting 5, and then off the bench, run Yi at the backup 4. And then once again, if you want to spend a lot of MT, go ahead and get yourself a D-Rob, a Kristaps, maybe lock in for a Dikembe. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, then I'd look for like a Dino, look for an Evan Mobley, even look for that Pink Diamond Diop, because he's probably the best budget center in the game. So that's what I do with your squad. The kind of 10 men I would do is Scotty Barnes, Luke Walton, Ricky Davis, Billy Knight, Danny Ferry, Mike Bantam. We'll just say KG, or we'll say Taco and KG, and then Yi and let's say Evan Mobley or Dino. I think that is a lot, a definitely improved starting 5 and bench as well compared to the team you have now. And that's only spending maybe just under a million MT, probably actually less, maybe only like 700,000-800,000 MT, which is really good to build that squad. And then guys, looking at the last team here of the video is going to be from Human Centipede. He's got 700,000 MT and he does play on current gen, so another really good squad. He's got Taco and Yao, he's got Ricky Davis, Jonathan Bender, Ben Simmons. I mean, that's a great starting lineup. Off the bench, he's got some pretty good cards as well. I feel like for me, your bench could be improved with 700k MT. I think for me personally, rating out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I mean, you got Taco and Yao Ming in the starting lineup. Can't really get too much better than that. It's super cheesy, but I'd say a squad's like a 9.5. What I would do personally, keep your backcourt the same. You can keep Tim Thomas as well. I'd maybe look for like a Jonathan Isaac just for a little bit more defense. You have Glenn Rice and Sengun, so if you can get a Jonathan Isaac, you can maybe even get a Poku. I think both those cards are better than Tim Thomas, but if you want to keep Tim because you're good with him, Tim Thomas is still a really good card. And then what I would do personally, I know it might sound a little bit crazy, but I would get Taco Fall to move to the bench, or I'd move Taco Ball to Taco fall to the backup 4. For your starting power forward, I would look to get, you know, if you have Yi, use him. If you have a Jokic, you know, you can get Jokic. If you want a Dino, if you want a Evan Mobley, both those guys can play next to Yao. And then off the bench, run Taco at the backup 4, and then look to get yourself one of the other 2 guys. So I would get Dino and Evan Mobley personally. So I'd play, let's say, for example, we'll just say Dino, right? We'll say Dino next to Yao Ming, and then off the bench, you can run Taco with the backup 4, and then go ahead and get yourself Evan Mobley for the backup 5. So that's what I do with your squad personally. Don't need to really make too many upgrades. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the I rate improve your teams video. Let me know in the comment section down below your guys' team and how much MT you guys are currently rocking with, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your team. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.